Hello YouTube, my name is Tag and welcome back to Gyakuten Live. So in the last video, we did some more exploring and looking for clues and also trying to find a fake person. And well, without spoiling, let's just say that we found a lot of information and we did indeed find that fake person and we had got to ask them a few questions before they disappeared in front of us. But now, it's time for another trial. I hope we have enough clues. And without further ado, let's get down to the bottom of this case and continue the game. Okay, so we found a lot of clues. I don't know how much they're gonna help us. We finally spoke to the real Chika. She's gonna testify in the trial though. So hopefully she can shed some light on us and maybe we can identify who this comedian person is. And then hopefully by identifying them, who they are, maybe we can get a confession saying they stole the statue. Which doesn't sound believable because I don't think they did steal the statue because we used our little charm on them to see if they were being honest and they were being honest. So I don't know what happened to the statue. I thought I was like thinking I'm like did the director steal the statue? I'm like I don't think she would have. One theory I have is maybe the statue must have fallen off fell into the ground to like the thing below because it's like a very deep fall below with the rocks and the seals. But like I don't know. Hopefully we'll find the culprit. That's all I hope for. But anyways, let us continue the game. June 27th, 9:29 a.m. Defendant lobby. Me? She was copying me yesterday? That's right. The fake Chika-san came back and impersonated you for the whole day. We didn't even realize until that night. It was a really convincing illusion. Just to check, Riko-san. How tall are you? 160 centimeters. Why do you ask? Convenience-san is apparently 161 centimeters tall. The disguise works much better when it's to imitate you. Your heights are incredibly close. Are you alright, Yu-chan? Feeling fully refreshed? My mind is, but my mood isn't. I don't have high hopes right now. It's been a whole night since we last saw Convenience-san. She might have skipped town by now. If that's the case, we might not even be able to bring her back in here. Really? Can't we subpoena her? Not if we don't know her true identity. We wouldn't know who to subpoena. Putting out a subpoena, subpoena for Convenience-san while not knowing where she is won't cut it. Magandang umaga, Lawyer-chan. How are you feeling about the case today? If I must be honest, not very good. I feel like we wasted the entirety of yesterday looking for Convenience-san. We didn't find enough clues to prove you innocent. Right, speaking of Convenience-san, I'm talking to Pigeon-san. I asked Chika-chan and requested Convenience-san to cover for it. Did a transfer responsibility happen? Pigeon-san said that it technically didn't, but it was still reckless of her to do so without telling anyone. So either way, part of the blame will get transferred back to me. Yeah, that's what Convenience-san himself suggested. I guess we'll have to rely on Pigeon-san's loophole. As a reminder, there's 3 things I have to figure out today. First, I have to prove that Convenience-san took Yu-san's place. We're back at square one regarding that factor. Second, I need to prove that she somehow did the crime. Third, she needs to take responsibility for it. Problem is, according to the Ofuda, she never had anything to do with the crime. How the heck am I going to accomplish that? Well, Chika-chan and I will probably testify first. In fact, here she comes now. Hi Yu-san. I'm ready to talk about what happened. Great, say, since you were the one who hired Convenience-san, could you try to contact her? I've been trying to last night, but I got no response. I guess she's trying to lay low. Looks like we'll have to drag her kicking and screaming into court if we have to. There's no need for that. Oh, she just came. Okay. Convenience-san? Hey, not so loud. Trying to be discreet here. Yes, because the way you dress right now is really discreet, you know? Dress like that? You might as well just wear a giant flashing neon sign that says, I'm Convenience-san. So you're the one who dressed as me yesterday? You're awfully pretty. I think we need to draw you. Flashbacks to when the fake Chika-chan took the stand. It's the same voice and everything. Wow, so that's what you really look like? I've only ever seen you in the costume of me before. Chika-chan, I think she is wearing a costume right now, too. She probably wouldn't give away her true identity that easily. What are you doing here, comedian-san? I thought you have wanted nothing to do with this trial. Didn't you claim that you were innocent? Listen, you-san, after our confrontation yesterday, I thought about what we talked about. Perhaps I came off a little too antagonistic. I apologize for my arrogance, but I do still maintain that I was not the one who committed the crime. The reason I'm here is this. If you end up pointing a finger at me, I'm not going to deal with it by running away anymore. I intend to face them directly, as long as I don't have to reveal my true identity. But I must warn you, my stay in Numazu ends tonight. I won't be around tomorrow, or any time after that. Well, in any case, thank you for fighting fair. So you're the punk that's been causing us all this trouble. Ready for the beating of your life, chump? Hey, back off! I say I don't intend on making this any more difficult. Canon-san, relax, please. Camille-san came here out of her own volition. She wants to resolve this peacefully, just like the rest of us. I don't know if I can believe that after she ran away from us twice in a row. I ran the first time because I was still under my client's instructions. I was to maintain the illusion. I had no choice but to flee. The second time, I refused to let myself fall under anyone's custody. I was so sure that I had nothing to do with the incident. But, as I realized last night, nothing in this world is ever 100% certain. Nothing in this world is ever 100% certain. It's about time to go in, Yu-chan. Ready? Ready as I'll ever be, and the comedian sounds here. We might be able to get her to testify. We need to prove her involvement first. Let's see if we can take what little information we have and get a miracle out of it. Okay, welcome back to Marty's Funhouse. June 27th, 10 a.m. Marty's Funhouse. Welcome back to Marty's Funhouse, everyone. We are back to the trial of Chi-Chi stealing the sculpture or whatever. Yesterday, a fake witness forced us to stop the trial and throw out half the testimonies we got. Oh no! So I ask you all to forget the testimonies from the second half of the trial yesterday. All we know is that there was a fake Chika, but that has no connection to do anything right now. Kapishki? The defense is ready, Your Honor. Uh-huh, whatever. Hey, prosecutor, can you give us a rundown of the trial yesterday and what we've talked about, minus the stuff that was thrown out? Oh yeah, fine. So basically, we know that the defendant Watanabe Yu was tasked to guard the sculpture Teka Reborn. The sculpture vanished between 10 a.m. and 11:15 a.m. At around 11 a.m., the witness swapped places with a friend Takami Chika. However, the defendant is responsible for the action of a replacement. There was a transfer of responsibility. Since the sculpture must have vanished during the time either of them was responsible for guarding it, the blame must go to Watanabe Yu. Well, what's your opening statement, prosecution? Currently, the evidence speaks for itself. As we've established, the defendant or her substitute are the only ones who had the opportunity to commit the crime. There is currently no evidence to suggest that there was any third party involved in this incident. Remember, half of the testimony was thrown out. If the defense wishes to assert that a third party was involved, then they are the ones that need to substantiate that theory. Judging by Maki-chan's reaction, it seems like she already knows what we're about to do. In that case, I'm going to give her exactly what she's anticipating. Well, defense, are you going to assert that there was a third party involved? Yes, Your Honor. We have heard that although she was invited to cover for Yu-san, Chika-san has also invited another person to cover for herself. Oh, a stack transfer responsibility? Not really. Since Chika-san never bothered telling anyone about the switcheroo before doing it, a transfer responsibility never took place. Oh, great. I must point out that this still won't vindicate the defendant. Imagine Watanabe Yu herself had invited a stranger to guard an important piece of art without telling anyone. Equivalently, doing so is an instance of negligence on Takami Chika's part. As a result, it is also negligence on the defendant's part. Gee, she caught us at every corner. We're still going to try to prove that the crime was perpetrated by comedian-san? To be honest, I don't know, but I've got to carry this torch as far as I can. After all, even if a defense attorney can't get a complete acquittal, it's still a job to clear her client of as many charges as possible. Your Honor, the defense would like to call Takami Chika and Watanabe Yu to the stand. Come on, let's get you and Chika in here. Oh, okay, two of them. So I gotta do some. Excuse me. Name and occupation. My name. Oh my god. Ooh, god. One at a time, please. One at a time, please. Uh, okay, thank you. Thank you. They really are friends. They really are the best of friends. One at a time, alright? Let's start with the one with the grotesque Mikan head. Also, stop blinking so damn loudly. Sorry, my name is Akami Chika. I'm the leader of a course, and I help run Tochiman in with my family. And I'm Watanabe Yu. I'm one of a course costume designers, and I'm an employee at Sea Paradise. Wow, this is the first time two witnesses are taking the stand right off the bat, huh? It's also the first time a client is on the witness stand. This could get hectic. Witnesses, I need you two to testify about the full story about the switch-ups and the shift covering, alright? Yes, will do, Lawyer-chan. Come on, Chika-chan, you got my back, right? Yeah, it's time to let them know what really happened. The big switch. We all talked about this yesterday, but isn't it true that I had asked Chika-chan to swap places with me at 11 AM around the time of the crime? But listen here, I ended up asking comedians to disguise herself as me and cover Yusan's shift instead. You just said I was the only one who could cover for her, so that's why I asked comedians to take over, so that she could pretend to be me. I never went to see Paris on the day of the crime. It was comedian's son. And I never even saw the sculpture of 10:10 AM. It couldn't have been me. Okay, seems pretty simple enough, I hope. So you're saying that neither of you ever touched the sculpture? Yep, the last time I saw the sculpture, it was right before it belonged. And I wasn't even at Sea Paris on the day of the crime, so you've got that to consider. Oh, she's tapping her head with that weird red thing again. What's the deal with that? What I'm saying is, both of us are innocent. We didn't do anything wrong. Okay. You shouldn't commit perjury on the stand. For perjury? What's that? You're saying that we're lying, Chika-chan. That's what perjury means. I'd like to remind everyone that the walrus thing was seen at 11:15 AM. The witness is claiming that this comedian son was the one who was actually in the costume. For those unaware, comedian son is an internet influencer. Her true identity is unknown. However, I have done research on this person, and it was brought up to me in investigations yesterday. I spent some time looking through her video archives. Based on her appearance in her videos, and comparing her size to that of her co-stars with known heights, I deduced that her height is somewhere in the 160 to 164 centimeter range. Oh, that means she could not have been able to wear the Uchichi costume with the steel frame as a limiting factor. Precisely. The witnesses are attempting to take us for fools. But it's true, it wasn't either of us. I must point out that these two are close friends and have been for most of their lives. Them being willing to commit perjury to protect one another is not surprising. I'm aware, but let's get this cross-examination going. Maybe there's more to it than just that. Yes, please. There may be an explanation for this contradiction. Okay. I think because, okay, we saw the drawing, right? And the drawing was actually of the octopus, right? And it's in the invertebrate section, which means that the alarm would have triggered, which means that she wasn't wearing the steel frame. I wonder, what is it, Ayumu? Well, it's a stretch, and we got no evidence of this. But if Comedian Sun as good with disguise as it seems, she could have brought her own Chuchi body, right? It's a different possibility. For the moment, though, we'll just have to keep note of it. Right now, I've got nothing to suggest that she brought anything to the aquarium besides herself. At this point, I should pretend the steel frame Uchichi outfit is the only available and focus on trying to figure out how Comedian-san could have had an alternative. We've been trying to find an answer to this one since yesterday, and I don't think Yuji-san and Chika's-chan are lying. In that case, how could Comedian-san have worn an Uchichi costume? Okay, there's two of them. Two of them. So, let's see. Should I just press them on everything and then get... I think I should just press them on everything. I want to see a contradiction, that's why. Yesterday, Chika-san told me that you had asked her to meet up in front of the observation deck. That means you actually met up with Comedian-san instead, right? I guess so. Someone who appeared to be Chika-chan approached me at the observation deck right before I took off. I didn't realize at the time, but it must have been Comedian-san. At that point, I didn't know that Chika-chan had asked her to go in her stead. You didn't realize it was her? No, she came a little late, so I was a bit of a rush. I hadn't discussed the task with Chika-chan before the day of the crime. Because of that, I had to go full mode mouth telling her what to do. She didn't have a chance to say anything to me before I took off, so I never heard her voice. As for the appearance, she did a playing up job on the disguise. I wasn't wearing my glasses at the time, so all the differences flew over my head. So that explains that. She also mistook the fake Riko-san for the real Riko-san yesterday for the same reasons. We discussed this yesterday. But could you tell the rest of the court why you chose to have Kamina-san replace you? I had somewhere to go. It was important, so I had to skip out on the favor Yu-chan offered me. Vague, non-specific accounts of events aren't very convincing. Let's hear you talk about where you went with whom and for what reason. Eek, well, I went to a beach nearby with a few others. They wanted me to search for anomalies, but they wouldn't tell me what exactly they meant. They? Who's they? Well, first off, they were my sisters, Mitoni and Shimani. And as for the other two, the first of Shimani's friends had brown hair in a side plate, and I think she was sick or something. The other one, she was really cool. Had a leather jacket and long black hair. Half her hair was red. I guess this information has nothing to do with our case. For some reason, it sparked something within the recesses of my memories. Why is that? It also, yeah, the red hair kind of also gets me a bit. Yeah. For the record, is that true, Yusan? Did you tell her that? Yeah, it was. Like you've been saying, the metal frame inside the costume prevents anyone without my proportions from wearing it. As it turns out, Chika-chan has the same proportion as me. That's why I said only she could wear it. But I misunderstood you-chan. I thought that my appearance or something was why she picked me. I thought Chameleon-san could fit the job requirements. A series of miscommunications all around. It's unfortunate that it had turned out this way. Sorry, you-chan. I didn't want to be disappointed. I didn't want you to be disappointed at me. I didn't want to break my promise. Hey, don't worry about it. I was trying to protect you from being involved in this crime once it happened. I was trying to look out for you. Well, the whole reason I called Chameleon-san is because I didn't want you to be left without anyone to take over. I was also trying to look out for you. Yeah, we look out for each other. Good mentality to have. But right now, it's done more harm than good. Here's the problem. Like Maki said, Kamina-san could not have put the Chichi costume on. It was established yesterday that there were no other costumes for her to use besides the one with the steel frame. But Riko-san clearly saw someone using an Chichi costume. That is weird. I have no clue how she managed that. Maybe she shrank a bit? Shrank? I don't think even a master skies can shave several centimeters off her height. Regardless, we maintain that we're telling the truth. Kamina-san must be a very clever person. Maybe she found a workaround. You sure? Are you sure that Chameleon-san couldn't have somehow squeezed herself into the Uchichi body? My heart says no, because I know you're innocent, but my brain says yes, because it doesn't make any sense. She should be too tall to fit. Ugh, how did she manage to do it? Is there a future police report for? I think so. You said that between 10:10 AM and 10:20 AM, you left the scene to put the costume on, right? Yeah, as said before, that means it's impossible for someone to have taken the sculpture in the interval. Neither of us were responsible for it at the time. I must point out that the defense is currently claiming that a third party was involved in this crime. The witnesses have stated that the supposed third party didn't appear on the scene until about 11 AM. This window of opportunity has no connection to this alleged Chameleon-san. Unless you are now attempting to prove the culprit appeared during the 10-minute interval, the discussion is pointless. She's right. I'm trying to prove that Chameleon-san had something to do with this, but how? Really? I had to press them on stuff the whole time. You don't seem to be making any progress, Defense. Would you like to give up? Uh-huh. Well, I just think it's pretty clear that what the witnesses are saying is impossible. The accounts of the events are incompatible with the established facts. No, if I give up now, I won't be able to show the Chameleon-san was involved in this case. And how do you intend to prove that? You've had plenty of opportunities. Well, right now, there are several factors that suggest that Chameleon-san was not present at Sea Palace at the time of the crime. First off, there is zero tangible evidence of the switch occurring. The only evidence is testimony given by the culprit herself and the culprit's closest friend, which are prone to falsification. Second, we know for a fact that someone was wearing the Wallace costume at 11 AM. Riko has stated that she saw this yesterday. Great. As established, the Wallace costume or whatever doesn't fit Chameleon-san. She's too tall. I know, but what's with you? Don't interrupt me. Third, Riko said that she followed the Wallace to the entrance area when it vanished. This means that it most likely went into the employee area. It couldn't have gone into the invertebrate section, and it couldn't have simply left the aquarium either. Really? Then why is that? Remember, the invertebrate section had a faulty screener that would have reacted to the suit. Riko would have reported hearing it. As for why it couldn't just leave the aquarium, there's always someone at the gate, and the only time the Wallace was seen leaving was way after the crime. That was the time Yu-san showed us the Chichi costume. we first talked to her. I had a conversation with the aquarium director of the sea paradise closed yesterday. She had told me that you need to have approved clearance to access the employee area in the form of a temporary staff badge. But I did give her the staff badge that Yu-chan gave me. And you have evidence that this exchange took place? Well, the burden of proof is on the claim maker. With evidence to the contrary, it's clear that Chameleon-san was never at Sea Paradise. Great. That's just great. Unless, of course, you like to challenge the assertion. Challenge the assertion, gotta do it, right? There must be some way to open up the possibility that Chameleon-san was at Sea Paradise. Maki's got a case bolted down otherwise. I might have to attempt to temporarily take a step back. I may have to introduce a new contradiction to solve this contradiction. It could be the only option I've got. Yes, I've got to once again prove an alternate perspective on the situation. If I have to move a goalpost just a whole out a bit longer, I might have to do it. The question is, which assertion do I challenge? I need to think carefully. It's the invertebrate. You have to challenge her on the fact that she wasn't the invertebrate, because she was. Let's see. I think I've been able to prove a new perspective on the following topic. The vertebrate section. I think I've managed to suggest the Chameleon-san might not have gone to the vertebrate section after all. Is that correct? Yes it is. Your Honor, I'm going to challenge the assertion that Uchichi went through the vertebrate section. Okay, let's see the evidence. Okay, the drawing. Show me the drawing. Let's go. I would like everyone to take a look at Riko's sketch from the trial yesterday. That's a sketch of the creature that cannot identify as a snake or an eel or something, right? Yes, for yesterday, we discovered another potential creature that this may actually depict. You see, we found out that there's a mimic octopus at the aquarium, and it turns out that mimic octopuses can take on a form that looks just like what's shown in Riko-san's drawing here. Oh, but if it's an octopus, that means octopus are invertebrates. That means the possibility that Chichi actually went through the invertebrate section of the all. Shut up! Members of Mari's Funhouse, if it turns out that Ochichi had actually passed through the invertebrate section, that is an interesting question. The costume would have set off the security screeners, but they didn't. Riko-san said so yesterday. This would mean that whatever costume was used had no metal in it. A leap in logic. We know for a fact that there are banned snake eels in Sea Paradise, as stated by the detective yesterday. Just because Riko might have seen the octopus doesn't mean that she must have. The perspective doesn't have a leg to stand on. Actually, he has 8 legs to stand on. What are you talking about? If you recall from yesterday's testimony, Riko-san said that Uchichi turned a corner, and that's how she lost track of him. This could only happen if they left the invertebrate section. We couldn't answer that question back then, but this development suggests that the octopus explanation is more likely than the eel explanation, doesn't it? Uh-huh. And I just suggest we do away with the fact that there were no costumes used to use. Well, I'm currently unsure, but that doesn't matter right now. What does matter is that we investigate this contradiction further. The possibility of Chameleon-san being the culprit is still open. Yeah, drink that tea. You're gonna need to start thinking now. Fine then. Allow me to close up that possibility for you. What? Recall the defendant said that she saw Takami Chika at the time the crime happened? Not some other person? Yeah, because Chameleon-san is good at disguises. She was obviously disguising herself as Chika-san at the time. No disguise was used. Huh? How could you? If you're claiming that this Chameleon-san was disguised as Chika, then you must have had a costume including a wig. Fortunately for me, you had given me the orange hairs recovered from the water's head for testing yesterday. Uh-oh. Here it comes to bite me in the rear. Fortunately, the DNA test results have not yet returned. They won't be here for a little while longer. However, I can confirm that the orange hairs are organic. They aren't artificial. They're real, natural hairs. Wait a minute, that doesn't mean she didn't use a wig. Plenty of wigs are made of human hair. It's possible that she simply had a wig that wasn't synthetic. You really don't get it, do you? Wigs made from human hair use hair that's been donated. If someone wants to donate their hair, what do they do with it? They cut it off, of course. Exactly. So I inspected the hairs under a microscope to look for the roots, or lack thereof. Roots? When a hair is cut, it doesn't take its roots with it. That should be obvious, since you're cutting it somewhere in the middle. That means if a wig is made from human hair, then you shouldn't expect to find any roots. So what did you find the roots? This is just going. Please tell me that this person is like has orange hair or so. But guess what? The orange hairs that you gave me do have their roots. Sort of like this sample I'm showing you here. But suppose some maniac decided to donate hair that they tore out of their head. And this is what the root of the hair looks like if it's torn out of your head. You thought of everything. My point is, orange hairs found in the walrus head have their roots intact, and it couldn't have come from any time before the crime since it was cleaned beforehand. There's only one possible conclusion to draw. These hairs came directly from Chika's head from the day of the crime. No, that can't be true. Say what you want, the evidence speaks for itself. Marky, don't tell me you're fabricating evidence. Oh, here we go again. Marky, and don't fabricate. And everyone is saying that there was no comedian son. Where does that leave us? Just great. Well, I think that's a wrap. Marty's finals may be coming to an end very soon. No. Sorry, defense. I don't want to end it either. But what more is there to say? Right now, the prosecution has thoroughly substantiated the notion that only you or Chika could have been responsible for the sculpture disappearing. No? Give me a chance. Your Honor, please wait. Let me an explanation for all of this. Really? What do you have in mind? Those orange hairs being carried from Chika's head is an awfully convincing story. If you have an explanation to dismiss the theory, what is it? I admit that it's an awfully good point Mark has brought up, but what's the best way to dispel this perspective? If I don't think of something now, it will be over. I need to come up with an explanation. Your Honor, the hairs found in the Chichi head may have been orange with the roots intact, but I have a theory that do you think Omega-san has orange hair? I think it's possible. It's possible the Chameleon-san just happens to have orange-colored hair herself, isn't it? Huh? Well, you said it yourself yesterday. You've been noticing a disproportionately large number of orange-haired women as of late. It's a possibility, right? Chameleon-san having orange hair. But all the images of her I've seen show her with dark brown hair. You know, it's always tied up in a huge ponytail and everything. Yet, at the same time, people say that she's never shown her true identity, that even her most common appearance is a disguise. Instead of naturally having brown hair and needing an orange wig, I think she actually naturally has orange hair and uses a brown wig. Isn't that possible? You might be onto something. I think that's a definite possibility. Unfortunately, at this point, a possibility isn't good enough. Oh no, even after all that? Good. I think it's time to wrap up this trial. Don, sorry Yu-chan. I guess my help wasn't good enough. Hey, don't worry about it. You helped me plenty. Even if I lose my job, I'll get it back eventually. Sorry, you, but I'm going to have to say that you're... Who's this? Is it Maki? Did you get the result? Eek! The lights went off. Hey, what gives? Turn the lights back on, will you? What's going on here? Who did this? Is this comedian? Huh. Oh, it's her. It's Johanne. Huh. We're back with candles again. Thought you could get away with ending this party without me? Huh. Eugen, she's doing the thing again. Jessica-chan, could you skip the theatric and tell us what's going on? My, so impatient for someone who's been driven into a corner. But I'll entertain that request. As you know, I've been conducting my investigation of my own, and I found quite a few clues pertaining to our suspect. We'd like to back up. And now, I've delivered them to this faithful trial. Be grateful and give your praise to Yohane. Yes, it's my groundbreaking evidence that will turn this case around. Yeah, you're a bit late over that. Mario's going to end the trial right now, so... What do you mean in the trial? I just got here. Oh, cool. It's already over? Gosh darn it, I told you shouldn't have taken that dang old detour at the game store, Zero. Never mind that. We're here to testify about what we found. Oh boy, you are not ready for this. You're right, we're not, because the judge doesn't need any more evidence. Huh? We spent all day yesterday searching for these. Let me talk about them. Sorry, friends. I already made up my mind, but I want to present our evidence. I wanna. Uh, okay. Okay, thank you. Alright, shut up already. Let's hear your testimony. Just pipe down. Well, if the prosecution allows it, I guess we can have one more testimony. Let's have a short recess so the witness can be prepared. No, prepare. Only testify. Well, before we do anything, we should probably start by introducing ourselves, Zora. I guess we should do that. Names, occupations. My name is Yohane. I'm a fallen angel. Go to hell. Why, you little... Relax, Zora. She's just being a little weirdo. Don't take what she says too seriously now, Zora. Yoshiko-chan, well, she's a bit big-headed in front of them cameras, Zora, but I promise y'all that she is getting better. Yoshiko? Wait, are you the one who hates Mikans? Yeah, you got a problem with that? Not at all. I myself am a fellow Mikan hater. Finally, someone with good taste. I can't believe a third of our course likes Mikan. Do you know how badly the smell of that filth ate during lunchtime? That means you, Zuramoto Maru. Cut back on the Mikans, will you? I'm not thinking I will. Zura. By the way, where the heck did you, San and Chika-san, go? Did they get scared off by Yoshiko-chan's shenanigans? Anyway, brown girl, name and occupation. Kunikita Hanamaru, Zura. Don't mind me much, y'all. I'm just here to help y'all wherever I can. Alright, Yoshiko and Hanamaru Zura. Talk about the stuff you two found so we can end this damn town already. Okay, can you get this for next week's video, Zura Maru? No problem, Zura. Here's a testimony of the new and improved Yohane. Great. There's two of them. Again, am I gonna have to pursue? Independent findings, please, save my case. During our investigations, we stopped by Tochiman Inn before her family came back. Since nobody was home, I went next door and asked Riri for a key. They granted me access. When I got inside, a brand new duffel bag caught my eye. It had like sewing stuff and an air pump in it for some reason, and it still had its big price tag attached to it. I also found a staff tag from Sea of Paradise or whatever. Isn't that weird? So there you have it. You could try and wait to see Paradise at the time of the crime. There's no other reason why those things were found in the inn. That's not helping me, that's incriminating me. Wow, that testimony changed absolutely nothing. I'll say, it was all evidence for someone we were already going to find guilty. One waste of time. That said, all this definitely makes Chika look more guilty, doesn't it? After all, the duffel bag found in Chika's house had this exact same contents as what was written in the police report. Not to mention, the staff at Chika's house suggests that she never gave it to Communion-san. Did you bring these items to the trial today? Sorry, but no. I was afraid that the family could come back and find something missing, and that Riri would let them know that it was me who took it. Have you met Kanon-san? She's gonna be scared if she gets annoyed. I guess it's whatever. Not like it'll make a difference at this point. Well, you've had your fun. Let's get that guilty verdict rolling so I can leave. No. I need to inspect so. Hang on, the defense has the right to cross-examine this witness. You're still going to cross-examine Yoshiko? But the case is practically unwinnable for you now, right? The evidence against your case is overwhelming. Maybe so, but I've still got to try. The defense will assert its right to cross-examine the witness, and that's final. Please save me. I guess we have no choice, huh? Let's see how the defense deals with this. Fine, whatever. I'll just stand here and sip my tea. Not like we can find a way out of this ditch you're in anyway. I can't just give up. Despite the slim odds, I've got to find a way around this. Examination. Okay. There's two of them. Please, Hanamaru, please save me, because Yohane is not saving me. Okay. During the investigation, we stopped by Tochiman. What time was this? What made you go to Chika-chan's house, Yoshiko-chan? Someone who appeared to be Chika-chan went into the aquarium, right? I figured I'd check her in out first. I hit the jackpot of evidence pretty early in my search. Yohane is a genius. What about afterwards? Did you find any evidence in any other places? Unfortunately, no. Every other place was devoid of useful evidence. Yohane is so unlucky. So when you succeed, it's your intelligence, but when you fail, you blame your luck? No bias is there. Who's Riri? Riri is Riko-san, right? She had a key to the inn? Yep, Chika and Riko-chan's families are pretty close now, so they ended up exchanging house keys because they trust each other. Makes sense since they're neighbors. Good thing Riri was home. She was practicing her piano or something at the time. Chika-san went home after the trial yesterday. She had no idea the chameleon-san was at the aquarium waiting to be here. Alright. Are you sure that's what you saw? Contents and all? Yep. Yep. Fabric knife, sewing kit, clothing, air pump, yada yada yada. Can't forget the huge honking price tag. I don't mean huge as in expensive. I mean huge as in big. It was like the size of a composition book. I guess it was fresh out of the shop because it looked brand new as well. Not a hint of age or wear anywhere. But isn't that weird? Chika-san isn't known for doing clothes. Why would she have a bag with sewing stuff in it? Who knows? Maybe she borrowed it from Yu-chan for the day or something. Something doesn't add up here. What's the real reason this bag was found in Chika-san's in? Great, I'm trying to learn everything I get. You said given Chika-san the staff badge to enter Sea Paradise and access to the employee area, Chika-san should have given it to Chameleon-san. Well, apparently she didn't. It was found right there on the front desk. It was a badge that was issued to Watanabe Yu, too, so it definitely didn't come from some other person or place. Rats! That is a really dang piece of evidence. So there you have it. Okay. This is the last bit, and then I have to hope and pray I gotta find a way around this. But Chika-san maintained that she never set foot in Sea Paradise on the day of the crime. I don't know what to tell you. If she never set foot in Sea Paradise, why was her bag found there? And if she gave her staff badge to Cham-chan, then why was it found in her inn? Frankly, I think she's lying. There's gotta be a logical explanation for this, but what? Everything Yoshiko-chan said has been highly incriminating. I agree. I can't believe we've just gotten that much more dang evidence in one fell swoop like that. Well, the good thing is, you might also be able to discredit that evidence in one fell swoop if they're closely related enough. Let's see. We have the belief that Chika-san is innocent, right? Then how did all that damn evidence get there? Okay, how do I figure this out? Like, you maybe just blame the ghost, you know? Wait, do I show the fake Chika? Is the fake Chika what I saw? I didn't even get a chance to look at the drawings. Is the picture what I show? I think the picture could prove that the option that there's a fake one. Okay, cool. Clear my mind. Makes sense. The picture would make sense to show because, like, that proves that there's a fake person and that she could have been in the inn. So, Yoshiko-chan, you say that those items found in Tojiman Inn prove that Chika-san must have been the one who went to see Paradise, huh? Yohane, and yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's not exactly, not necessarily true. Here's a photo of Chameleon-san as she appeared yesterday. Is it now? And how can you be so sure that this is Chameleon-san and not the actual Chika? Well, you've been doing research on her height, haven't you? I'm 156 centimeters tall. How tall does this Chika-san in this photo look? Admittedly, she seems to be a noticeable amount taller than you are. Right, but the real Chika-san is only 157 centimeters tall. The height disparity suggests that this is not the real Chika-san. So she's the wrong height. That doesn't mean that she's necessarily Chameleon-san. And what does this have to do with the case? It's pretty relevant. You see, when we were with her at Tochiman Inn yesterday, she had been trying to feed Shiitake-chan, which is the Takami's dog. Right after that, she went inside the inn. Huh? So you're saying... And that's exactly right. Chameleon-san had access to the inn the entire time. Oh great, she has the wings too. Shut up! It looks like the fake Chika-san was tasked to feed Shiitake-chan and check from the inn. This supports the notion that she is Chameleon-san, because it lines up with the narrative that Chika-san had hired her the whole time. Not only that, the fact that Chameleon-san had access to the inn makes it so that Chika-san is not the only potential culprit. It opens up the possibility that Chameleon-san was the one who left those items there. Even if you claim that stuff can still very well belong to the Mikan head. It doesn't change anything. The narrative that we've been upholding so far hasn't been affected at all. Well, not quite. Not quite? Explain yourself. Here's the thing. As the testimony has shown us that the duffel bag found in Chika-san's inn is most likely the same one found by the police. Chika-san doesn't do clothes, but Chameleon-san does. The items inside the bag make it so much more likely that the bag belongs to her than to Chika-san. But there's one more important thing. If the duffel bag does belong to her, that means it's possible that the Chameleon-san had brought her own Chichi costume inside it. Her own costume? Oh yay, I knew you could figure out how you can work my silly little theory in. Bravo! Wow, her own Chichi body? Could that be possible? Gotta admit, it sounds plausible. I hadn't thought that far ahead. What's wrong, Hanamaru? You look like you're thinking about something. Did the kind of discussion float somehow? It's nothing. I was just thinking about the size of the costume, Zora. Good point, Zoramaru. Could the costume even have fit in the bag we saw her carrying? I know it was a big bag, but... Oh, great. You saw her carrying the bag? Yep. On the day of the crime, Yuzuki-chan and I were hanging around the entrance of Sea Paradise waiting for Chameleon-san to show up, Zoro. See, Yuzuki-chan had made a big old mess out of things, and she had tracked Chameleon-san down enough to know that she was going to Sea Paradise that day, Zoro. Of course, we never ended up seeing Chameleon-san. Spent the whole dang morning sitting around under them trees, and we only ever saw Chika-chan heading in with the duffel bag, Zoro. Hey, did you hear what Yu-san said? That could have been Cham-chan. I just wasn't expecting her to be in a Chika-chan costume, you know. I could have isn't good enough. We have no evidence that this person that they saw was Chameleon-san. For all we know, it could have been the real Chika. Well, I reckon we should testify about the whole shebang from the very beginning, huh? Great. Yes, we should. Let's start this straight from the top. Gosh, let's do this one together, Yoshiko-chan. Great. Day of the crime. I reckon this was about 10 11 a.m. on the day of the crime, Izora. We saw Chika-chan going into the aquarium. She did have the duffel bag on her. She did. But there's no way that a Chi-Chi costume could have fit inside. And before you ask, no, she wasn't wearing it on her person either. I don't think there's any way she could have brought a Chi-Chi costume in. Anyway, a little after Chika-chan had gone and went inside, we saw Yu-chan running out, Zora. And that's all she wrote. Great, that's like that's like 3 sentences. There's only 3 sentences. Okay. If Chika-san never brought in an alternative costume, then the only available one was the one with the steel frame, right? Exactly. As we established, Chameleon-san is too tall to fit in that one. Chika, on the other hand, is the perfect size. I'm going to maintain this theory of Chameleon-san using another costume, Yu-chan. It's the best opening I have right now. Even if it turns out that she didn't use an alternate costume, the signs of questioning buys us time. Alternative is to have the trial just be over, so keeping this up is better than nothing. The two of them are claiming that the bag isn't big enough for an alternate costume, but could there be something we are missing here? What if you just added material to the costume to make it longer? Okay, 4 sentences to figure out. No, I might have pushed them on stuff. Maybe I can pursue. Yuzuki-chan, you said that you narrowed Chameleon-san's movements down in order to guess what she'd be going to see Paris, right? That she'd be going to see Paris, right? How did you do that? Well, on that morning, Cham-chan had put on an announcement saying that she may be inactive for the day due to a temporary assignment. Now, I was aware that she was in the Mazu area. Her post included a vague hint that she'd be looking at marine life, so I figured she might be heading to see Paradise. Of course, I had no idea what the assignment was. I didn't think that she may have been disguised as Chika-chan. I must remind the court that we currently have no evidence that the person that these two witnesses saw entering Free Paradise was actually Chameleon-san. Right. I may have been correct in my theory about where Cham-chan was going, or I may have been totally off. Either way, my point is that we saw someone that appeared to be Chika-chan entering Free Paradise at 11 a.m. I guess I'll have to do the same and not jump to any conclusions just yet. Witnesses? Is it something about her carrying a duffel bag? Okay. Can you describe the duffel bag for us? It was like the one of those bags that rests on her side with the strap on your shoulder. It was big, but not that big. And like I said, it had a ginormous price tag still attached to it. It had to have been spanking new out of the store. I have no clue how big the Chichi costume was, but if... Oh! Reaction! But if it's anything like Cham-chan's other outfits, there's no possible way it could have fit. Why are you looking at it like that, Hanamaru? Hanamaru-chan, did you have anything to add to that? I think I do, Zora. I want to know where the Yoshiko-chan didn't know that the Juju costume looked like. What the Juju costume looked like. So maybe I can fill y'all in on the information she's lacking, Zora. I mean, I personally never been to see Paradise, besides that one time we shot a PV there. Do I look like I'm into fish, Zoramaru? In fact, what if it isn't Uchichi, some sort of seaweed? Giga, this entire time you didn't even know who Uchichi was? No. But whatever it was, a costume for it probably wouldn't have fit in the duffel bag. No, it's more than just that, Zora. Uchichi is actually a big old walrus. Walrus? Aren't walruses like those things with the long tusks? Right, and Uchichi is a real chubby guy, a certified Maru, Zora. To recreate the chubby cartoonish look, the costume is padded that way, even a slim person like you-chan could look around it, Zora. Padded? Point is, my primary reasoning for why the costume couldn't have fit inside the bag is because it was padded. All that padding makes it impossible to fall into a smaller size, Zora. I mean, it ain't like you all can have a costume be both as thick as Uchichi used to be and compressible enough to fit in a duffel bag, right? That makes sense to me. I have listened to testimony, okay? I had a costume as a tree bark in elementary school, Zora. Oh, forget. A costume like that's gotta be padded body to make it look all thick, Zora. Or there's some way for it to have the thick appearance yet also be thin enough to fit in the baggie. Yep. And Maru-chan, can you reiterate what you mean about the padded part? Costume like this, your body needs some thickness to them, Zora. That helps give them the continued chubby proportions. And that also means they're kinda easy to smush, you know. All that padding makes the costume too dense to fold, Zora. I must point out that Rico's drawing of Ichichi was shown in the court yesterday. If we are to take it to face value, the body of the walrus is indeed quite chubby. Yep, that's why I don't reckon it could have just been crammed in that duffel bag, Zora. Makes sense, right? So, do you know where a chubby costume body could be squeezed into a completely small duffel bag? Okay, so I feel like this has something to do with it. I just need to figure out what. I mean, could it be padded? Could that drawing be padded? It doesn't look that chubby. I mean, yeah, that's fat. That's kind of fat. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna try. Nope, okay, thank you for the damage. Okay. Great, okay. Should I just like get more? I should probably just get more information. Let me get more information. Maybe I'll figure it out. So, what was she wearing on the day of the... So, what was she wearing on the day of the crime? The usual. White shirt, blue shorts. Her outfit didn't really stand out that much then. To me, that much. And you never bothered to talking to Chika-san? You didn't even greet her? Look, I was trying to find Cham-chan, not Chika-chan. If I saw someone I recognized, I figured that it wasn't her. I had no clue what Cham-chan really looked like. All I could hope for was look for people I thought could be Cham-chan and see if they reacted to my presence. So that's why you decided to approach me that day, huh? Okay, last thing, and then I'm going to figure something out. Apparently, Yu-san was in a hurry to get to the harbor. Whether it was Shiko-san or Comedian-san who entered the aquarium, she showed up late. That makes sense, right? To me, it did look like she was heading off in the direction of the local harbor, Zura. I had to ask, about how long did it take for Yu-san to start riding out after Shiko-san went in? I reckon about 5 minutes, Zura. Seems about right for them. Shiko-chan and Yu-chan to done switch places, don't you think? I agree. I don't think this changes anything though, at least for me. It seems like Yoshiko-chan and Muru-chan weren't exactly out in the open while waiting for Cham-chan to show up. Seems like they were actually concealed under a tree on the side or something. It was an awfully sunny day, and Yoshiko-chan wouldn't want to get sunburned in that outfit, huh? If that's the case, that would work quite a bit of a distance away from Chameleon-san when she entered. They may be mistaken about her identity. I wonder, even though they were at the same place at the same time, would they possibly have different opinions on or knowledge about anything that they saw. Better find out what you can. There's no room for error here. Thanks. Okay, so I need to figure out something about padding. I think it's something to do with the padding. That's the police report, sir. Fabric knife. What if the knife cut? Okay, cool. I think she cut the costume open and removed stuff. Actually, this is one where the costume can be both chubby and foldable. Oh, y'all got an inkling or an idea how it can be done? Yeah, because you stuffed it with clothing. Yeah, you're going to have to explain this to me, because I don't see how a costume can be so thick yet also be so compressible at the same time. Normally, you're right. A costume that thick shouldn't be so compressible. However, there's something in this police report that can give us a hint of how comedians have managed to pull it off. Namely, it all has to do with the air pump found in the bag. Uh-huh, I get it. In other words, what I'm saying is the idea of a collapsible costume becomes very possible to consider that the costume may have been inflatable. Oh, you're right. That could very well explain how someone could bring such a big costume in a duffel bag. A big round Chichi costume certainly couldn't be collapsible, but nobody said the costume had to be both huge and collapsible at the same time. So consider that the Chichi body could have been inflatable. A properly deflated costume of the sort could take up no more space than a normal set of clothes and fit easily into the bag. And then, once the couple arrives at the scene, she can simply inflate the costume with the induced included air pump. But that would mean Shamshan just happened to have an Uchiji costume. That can't be possible, right? Perhaps she wouldn't have an Uchiji costume, but as a prolific cosplayer, it's possible that she could have just had a generic inflatable brown costume. If that's the case, I have no doubt that she could modify it to look like the Uchiji costume. I imagine she should be able to add a name tag and a toe-like feet with her level of skill. Doesn't that make a whole lot of sense? If she was skilled enough to prepare an inflatable costume ahead of time, that would have solved the screen discrepancy. Thanks. Thanks a lot. And that's where you're wrong. What? It does make a lot of sense at first glance. The presence of an inflatable costume will solve many of the issues with the theory you're presenting. Let me guess, but the air pump has like this the little metal thing. The air pumps are metal. Would have sent the trigger. Would have triggered the sensors. Unfortunately for you, there are two fatal problems with the inflatable walrus hypothesis. Those being, what's with you? Have you forgotten Yu's testimony? She had said that she had neglected to tell Chika the details of the job ahead of time. This means that Chika didn't know that she needed to wear the walrus costume. Since you're claiming that Chika hired Chameleon-san, that means she wouldn't have known either. If Chameleon-san didn't know all the details of the job, how could she have prepared the costume ahead of time? Had enough yet? Because that was just a warm-up. Oh no. Can we get the results please of the DNA test? Members of my house or whatever, take a look at this for me. It's a sculpture as it appeared when it vanished. When you tell me it's orange here. Recall the sculpture was concealed inside the costume as the walrus made its way into the employee area. According to our current narrative, that's the only way it could have been removed from the premises. Now, let me ask you, what's the figure holding in her hand? A trident. The pointiness will pop it. A trident. That's right, a trident. And it seems to be incredibly pointy. I'd say it constitutes a safety hazard, but that's not the main issue here. If the walrus thing was clumsily holding the sculpture inside an inflatable costume, I'd have no doubt that its body would have been punctured immediately. In that case, there's no way that it could have been an inflatable costume, right? What now, Yu-chan? The theory just went down the drain. I know for a fact that Chameleon-san was in the aquarium, but how the heck am I supposed to prove that? I've got nothing left. Maybe Yoshiko-chan or Haramuro-chan has more testimony. There's gotta be something we can still do. Asking for more testimony? I don't feel like something that would lead to any result. What choice do I have left? Yoshiko-chan, Haramuro-chan, is there anything else you can tell us that could give us a hint on the identity of the person who you saw walking into Sea Paradise? The identity? I reckon we said all that we could, Sora. There must be something, anything left. I know that there's more to it than this. Desperate. Are you going to make a point? Or are you getting so desperate that you're just going to badger the witness until they make something up? Sorry, but I think that it's over. It's time for Mario's finals to come to an end. This is the end? After all this, I failed? Actually, there is one thing I can talk about that could help as a compensation for the person that we saw walking into Sea Paradise. You have more? Yuzuki-chan, really? Or are you just making this up, Zero? I'm serious, Uramaru. It was the night before the crime. I've got to warn you though, Yusan. It does absolutely nothing for your case. In fact, it goes against it. So there's no reason to bring this up. You might as well end the trial now. This is bad. The only testimony Yuzuki-chan has left is apparently only harmful to our case. If I don't take it, the trial will be over. I've got no choice. Yuzuki-chan, the defense requests that you testify about what you saw on the night before the crime. Cool, I'm putting myself at risk, but I got this. Huh? But why? We don't need any more testimony if it's going to further damage your already shattered case. But that said, I'd like Mario's finals to keep going, so I'll leave it to the prosecution. Let me get this straight. You want me to accept a testimony that will further incriminate the defendant, even though the defendant is already guaranteed a guilty verdict at this point? Exactly. Quite a silly thing for me to ask of you, I admit. Witness, testify about what you saw the night before the crime that could validate the identity of the person with the duffel bag. What? Wow, I didn't expect you to accept it. I'll bet the defense is grateful. I don't know what to say. Thank you? Don't thank me. It's not like I was trying to help you or anything, you idiot. Remember yesterday? You allowed me to test the fake witness memory, even though you didn't need to do that. I don't care if that part of the trial was thrown out. Now we're even. But this, if you don't mind. Hey, the more I get to testify, the better. The darkness. Okay, please, save me, Your Honor. The night before. In a small town like this, you're bound to run into the same people over and over again. This all happened in the shopping district. It was maybe 11 p.m. the night before the crime. I happened upon Chika. This can't be her! This can't be her! Because you don't want to go to the dog! I know this! Let's go! It can't be her because she's scared of the dog. I have my evidence and I have my thing already. I don't need to place you on this. Thank you, Your Honor. It was maybe 11 p.m. the night before the crime. I happened upon Chika-chan entering one of the shops. Exiting one of the shops. Don't worry, I'm certain it was her. Darling shoulder-length hair, red right behind the ear, and huge cowlick on top of her head was unmistakable. Anyway, she had just purchased a duffel bag. I'm 1000% sure it was the same one she brought to see Paradise the next day. It had the same giant price tag and everything. I don't try to imply that this was Cham-chan either. Why on earth would she be doing her shopping while in costume? Wow, that is a seriously incriminating testimony. Right, I'd even say a damning testimony. Anyway, I don't see how you could possibly explain this away, Yusan. But you're going to cross-examine me anyway, right? I've got to at least try. I'm not just going to give up on you, son. Fine by me. Go ahead and ask whatever you want. I refuse to believe that this case is unwinnable for us. I've got to push all my words to the limit for this cross-examination. Okay, I know this. I do know this. So, I hope I'm right. Okay, cool. Present. There is the drawing, the lovely drawing that Chika gave us. Okay, wait, I don't... Yeah, okay, cool. Present. That was easy. Yeah, Chika-chan, I highly doubt that this person you saw was actually Chika-san. But how could that be? She looked just like Chika-chan. I'm aware, but take a look at this. It's drawing made by Chika. It's drawing made by Chika-san. Depicting herself and Kuchisake Onna. Ah, Kuchisake Onna is a well-known evil spirit. Did you know that an urban legend says that she was sighted right here in Numazu a few years back? Well, color me surprised. I didn't know Chika-chan was into supernatural creatures. Perhaps I should recruit her as my next little demon. I wouldn't say she's into Kuchisake Onna, more like she kinda has a fear of her. Apparently, one of Chika-san's sisters told her about Kuchisake Onna in order to scare her into following a curfew. Chika-san currently has an aversion to going out too late. Huh? But I saw Chika-chan leaving the store alone. How did she have the guts to go out at night then? She absolutely wouldn't. There's no way Chika-san was the person that you saw that night. Is that true? Chika's scared of the dark now? That seems to be the case. Chika's sister had told her that the Kuchisake owner comes out at night, so she's trying to stay indoors whenever night falls. Apparently, this all started a few weeks ago, and Chika-san's been avoiding going out at night ever since. At the very least, she definitely wouldn't go out alone. But this doesn't make any but that doesn't make any sense. I know that I saw that orange shoulder-length hair, that cow look, that braid. Cham-chan had no reason to be the Chika-chan costume disguised on that night, and there's nobody else in the town that looks anything like that. Who else could it have been? And that's the question. I understand that Chika may have some fear of the night right now, but it's likely that she simply overcame that fear. And for what? To go to the store in the dead of night to purchase a duffel bag for no reason? That doesn't make any sense either. I mean, let's really think about this. If Chika-san had brought that duffel bag to the scene of the crime, then what would she have used it for? It's not like she would have needed to do any sewing at the scene. On the other hand, it'd make a lot more sense for Chameleon-san to bring such a bag alone. As a traveling artist of attires, that would explain everything much better. And because of that, I said that Yoshiko-chan here actually saw Chameleon-san exiting the store with a duffel bag that night. It's the only possibility. Don't be ridiculous. We've already established that there's no reason for her to have been in costume at the time she was spotted by the witness. How do you explain the fact that she looked exactly like Chika? Yeah, can't deny it. I don't know why Chameleon-san would have been in costume either. Yoshiko-chan claims she saw the person's hair, which was indicative of it having been Chika-san. There's gotta be an explanation for all of this, though I have to shoot it for the stars of this one. I think there's a theory on why Yoshiko-chan seemingly saw Chika-san on the night of the crime, and it's... Is it maybe... hear me out on this one, alright? Uh-oh, what are you going on about now? Now here's the thing, so we talked about Chameleon-san possibly having orange hair, right? Well, while we're on that topic, isn't it possible that you could also have a braid and a cowlick and shoulder-length hair? Are you for real? Look, I know it's a stretch, but just think about it. Chika-san's a very popular school idol. It's possible that people might want to replicate her appearance for themselves, you know? That's why, I think Chameleon-san just wants to look like Chika-san in a normal form, because she's a fan. Time out. I need to have a private discussion with the defense. Don't put this on the record. Okay, the following discussion will be omitted from the court's record, everyone. Alright, pardon me. Let me go over to you so the rest of the court doesn't have to hear this. No problem. Let me just move over. Wow, you hit the internet on mission. Alright, listen up, you. That's your name, right? Yeah, why'd you have to stop the record for this? Well, it's about what the fake Chika said on the stand yesterday. You believe that to have been Chameleon-san, correct? Yep, we believe that Chameleon-san showed up on the stand yesterday to keep the illusion that Chika-san had fulfilled her duty in covering for you-san. At least, that was the plan back then. Everything's changed now. Listen, I want to catch the fake Chika as badly as you do, alright? But there's a contradiction with what you said back then and what you claim now. Right now, you're implying that Chameleon-san might look like Chika because she's trying to imitate her as a fan. Based on yesterday's testimonies, it sounds like that the fake Chika didn't know a single thing about her cause at all. Ah, you're saying that Chameleon-san could not have been a fan? That's exactly what I'm saying. That would mean that the only way Chameleon-san and Chika-san could naturally look so much alike is by through sheer coincidence. Anyway, since this point is off the record, let's still continue in consideration of this possibility, but think about where you're going with this. Golly, Maki-chan brings an awfully good point, doesn't she? She does. Having orange hair by coincidence is one thing, but multiple aspects of the same hair shape as well? That's incredibly unlikely. Well, what now? Are you going to keep pursuing this line of thought? If you're not careful, we could run into a dead end. Not only will you-san be found guilty, but Chameleon-san will get away. The truth might be lost forever. I think I have to. This whole case, the impossible have been rearing its head and turning it into the possible. We've got no better course to pursue than this. This unlikely path might lead us to the truth when we least expect it to. And besides, there's something about this perspective that feels familiar to me. Someone who looks like Chika-san by coincidence? Well, what now, defense? Are you certain the Chameleon-san has the same hair features as Chika? I am. Like I said, Chika is a very popular school idol. It's possible the community and simply wanted to imitate her. That makes sense. Might is fine to acknowledge this possibility. Did the DNA test come back? Oh, it's you. I thought it was Marky. I want the results. I can figure this out. Okay. Sorry, Yusan, but your theory is wrong. I didn't want to have to bring this up, but the child needs it right now. As it turns out, I know exactly what Cham-Chan looks like. Oh, what? You knew all along? Why didn't you say it so earlier? Well, Cham-Chan identity is a closely guarded secret. I didn't want to have to bring it up if I didn't have to. Besides, inconvenience our manager right now. I don't reckon it would be a good idea for you to go and tell the true identity to the whole dang court, Sura. I know that. That's why I'm only going to let the judge, defense, and prosecution see it, alright? That's just wrong. Even though that's not, even though that's like rather, even though that helps me, that's still kind of wrong to just like dox this person's identity. I suppose that you're implying that you have a photo to show us, do you? I do, but I'm not showing it to the gallery. Then I think it'd be better if I just testified about it. Yusuke-chan, show how convenient looks like. Very well. Praise be unto me, your honey, for providing this pivotal evidence in your time of need. I much prefer her like this in the costume. She's kind of pretty. She's very pretty. Behold, the true face of the one called Chameleon-san. If you're wondering how I obtained this photo, it was inside a book that she had passed on to me. The book contains a section on to place one's own photo, so I do conclude that this is an image of her true self. Take note, as you can see, her hair is clearly not orange, and it's also the wrong length, with no cowlick. It also doesn't seem like she's keen on putting her hair in a braid. No way! Yes, wait. This photo proves your theory wrong, sorry to say. No, Yoshiko-chan, that's not what I'm reacting like this at all. And you see it too, right? Tell me, I'm not the only one. I do. Why is she showing up in the town of all things? I don't understand. The photo absolutely does not depict Chameleon-san. Now I have to prove it. This is it, Yu-chan. It's time to put this whole debacle to rest. Okay, so this has something to do with the underground thing with all the missing idols, and I'm sure she's one of the idols that was missing. Witness, make a formal testimony about this photo. I want to hear the whole story. Alright, let's finish this. That's not the true face of Cham-chan. Cham-chan and I had a collaboration last week. She showed up to my apartment and handed me a book as a gift. Let's just say, the book was an activity book. There was a section for someone to post a photo of themselves. And that's where I got this photo from. Because of that, I know there's a photo of her. If you'll notice, her hair looks absolutely nothing like Chika-chan's. No orange, no cowlick. And that's why. The person I saw with the double bag that night before the crime was Chika-chan. It couldn't have been Cham-chan. Hanamaru, I need you to help me too, I guess. Thanks, Yoshiko. And don't worry, the content of this photo will not be disclosed to the public. Good, I don't need Cham-chan to find out that I've been showing people what she really looks like. You know she's in the courtroom watching this trial at this very second, right? Anyway, I know you're going to start asking me questions. Bring it. No, for a fact the person in the photo is not Chameleon-san. But how can I prove that if nobody knows what she really looks like? Can't be the eyes, because the eyes can be easy to cover context. Okay, Maki, I need you to help me too for this one. I need everyone's help. Okay. I got a book. It's also about the book. Isn't that the book with all those pages ripped out? Indeed it is. This is that book that has all its pages ripped out. Suramaru, you treacherous fiend. I'll get you back for showing Yusan that book when you shouldn't have. You should have just thrown it out. Come on, Yoshiko-chan. I thought you were fixing to help solve this mystery, Zura. Well, no, never mind that. Why are all the pages torn out? I never got the answer to that question. If I was standing here closer to her, I'll bet that a set of Cyclops would have shown up around Yoshiko-chan. Well, that's not important right now. I had to figure out how I can back up my theory. Great, that's just great. Why would she give you a used activity book? It's not that bad. It's like one of those follow-along books that help you do stuff. one of the things you're supposed to do is to insert your photo into it. If I just took the photo out, the book would basically get a factory reset. I guess you just forgot to take it out before handing it to me. I thought the page of the book was torn out. How could this photo come from the book exactly? The pages weren't always torn out. I found this photo before then. Alright, I guess. How am I gonna figure out the photo? Isn't it possible Chameleon-san herself received this book from someone else? Then the photo wouldn't be hers, right? What do you mean? Well, if I recall correctly, the book had Amachi Renma written on the inner cover. That mean anything to you? Gah. Must be Shamshan's demon name, like how mine is Yohane. I'm sure of it. That's the first straight up lie that she's telling me on. Understand? Amachi Renma can't possibly communicate her identity. After all, she was neutralized over 4 years ago, whatever that means. But I can't just go around telling people that. If you'll know. Oh, the photo. How do you rule out the possibility that Chameleon-san is wearing a disguise in this very photo? I've got you covered. You see, she's wearing a school uniform in this photo. It's pretty clear that this is a formal photograph of her school ID or something. You wouldn't have a fake that, would you? That's a good point. For once, I agree wholeheartedly. No, you don't agree because the school uniform is different. Look at the photo. I really wish I could get the dialogue box this so I can get the full uniform, but if I compare it to these two, the uniform looks nothing like that. Let's go! Chika-chan, what you're saying could not be true. Huh? It can't? Yes, it's all to do with the uniform that the person in the photo is wearing. Do you see it? Yeah, it's the uniform for whatever school it is that Shamchan goes to. Shinonomi Academy. According to the ID card that was left in your house by Chameleon-san, she goes to Shinonomi Academy. Yeah, there we go. She's wearing the uniform of Shinonomi Academy. Wrong. That isn't the uniform for Shinonomi Academy at all. Huh? It's not? Right. Take a look at these school idol training cards I have here, depicting 2 Shinonomi Academy students. Because I have a gambling addiction and I've went to go gacha for those cards. Please take note of the uniforms. We can see that they have a red vest and plaid tie. The point is, the uniforms are primarily red. Now contrast this with the uniform shown in the photo you just gave us. It's so pretty though, but she's pretty. Notice that this person's uniform instead of has a grey jacket and a solid coloured neck ribbon. This uniform looks completely different. It doesn't even share the same colours. There's only one explanation for this. The person in your photo is not Chameleon-san. Shut up! Members of Mari's funhouse, it seems to be evident that the uniform worn by the person in this photo isn't the Shinonomi Academy uniform. She doesn't go to Shinonomi Academy at all. Actually, now that you mention it, I've seen this uniform somewhere before. You have? Where have you seen this before? It seems to be a Nijikusaki High School uniform. Of course, our uniforms don't look like that because they changed it 4 years ago. This means that this photo is at least 4 years old. Oh, that means this photo had nothing to do with the crime after all. It's clear there's no evidence to suggest that Chameleon-san doesn't have orange hair, but we do have evidence that she does. While we have no direct proof that Chameleon-san was involved instead of Chika-san, there are several factors that make more sense than we consider that Chameleon-san was the one who really replaced Yu-san. First off, the idea that Uchichi went through the vertebrate section is more likely than the idea that Uchichi went through the vertebrate section. We've talked about this at the beginning. The screener would have been set off by Chika-san, but a master of costumes such as Chameleon-san may have found a workaround. That all tracks, you've got a good point. Second, the alphabet clearly belongs to either Chika-san or Chameleon-san, since one of them was spotted entering see Pad as holding it. Thing is, Chika-san has no reason to fill it with sewing supplies before Chameleon-san. It makes perfect sense. I guess you're not wrong there. Lastly, someone who was apparently Chika-san seemed to purchase the exact duffel bag in the middle of the night, but it's highly unlikely that she got out of the dark as of late. As a result, this must have been Chameleon-san instead. It's the only logical answer. So what y'all gonna do now, sir? There's only one thing we can do. We Chameleon-san herself up to testify about her role in the crime, and we're pretty sure that she was involved at this point. Guess what? She's right here in the gymnasium. We can get on it right away. So who will we do Sapowina exactly? Just Sapowina Chameleon-san. Just Sapowina Chameleon-san. What's so hard about that? Maybe because she doesn't have a name. Yeah, see, the problem is, we can't do that. All witnesses need to be identified before they testify. And you say the chameleon's identity is a closely guarded secret. But she's right here in the gallery. Just ask her. Unfortunately, there's a problem with that too. Individuals have a right to not self-incriminate. Right now, you're attempting to get her on the stand in order to implicate her in place of your defendant. That means she's not required to identify herself. Therefore, it's up to one of us to figure out her true identity if we are to get her testimony. Camille has said she would be willing to testify as long as she didn't have to reveal her true identity. But if she must identify herself to testify, then she wouldn't dare talk. Marcus said that she wants to catch Camille's son as much as I do, so it's up to us to identify her. Unfortunately, it seems like even Mark has no clue who she could be. I don't think that's very much better. If you don't identify Camille's son, then we can't have her testify. Testifying under a pseudonym is only allowed under certain scenarios. Yep, it's referred to as a pseudonym order. It's only usable when the witness would be in danger of retaliation if their true identity is exposed, or if the witness is a little kid, for example. Because of the reason, none of them apply to this situation. That means the identity of the witness is required to obtain testimony from them, lest we risk the testimony getting thrown out again. If we can't figure out the communion's identity, don't fret. The DNA test results will be back by tomorrow. That's just great. No, communion's leaving the area tonight. We don't have to have it tomorrow. Wait, we must figure out communion's identity today. If we don't, well, if you have any idea what it is, you better just put it out now. Well, we don't. But there's gotta be a way we can figure it out today. We just need a bit more time. Sorry, but we can't just sit around running circles. We'll reconvene tomorrow, hopefully with answers. No, you can't. Okay, thank you, Yumu. Ruby! Save me. Yana, please wait. Hello, Ruby. What brings you to Mari's fun house today? You-san, Ayumu-san, Maki-san. You've got enough leave to figure out the identity of the culprit. You can figure this out today. I know you can. Today? Is that possible? This has taken too long enough. It'd be better for everyone to just go home for now and reconvene on tomorrow. Yeah, it'd be much easier to just wait for my DNA results to come back in. I'm tired of talking. 15 minutes. That's all it'll take. We can figure this out. Please, Maki-san, you want to find the truth too, don't you? I don't see how we can figure something out in just 15 minutes, but fine, go for it. Okay, let's all come back in 15 minutes, but no more. I want to get lunch. 15 minutes? What can we figure out in just 15 minutes? Well, that's that. Mari's Final, sponsored by CParadise, will return after 15 minutes. Thanks. Continue? Oh, okay. June 27th, 11 PM, Defender Lobby. Wait, am I just gonna corner her? Ruby-chan, I didn't expect you to show up here today. Sorry, Hanamaru-chan, no time for talking. Ruby-chan, I appreciate that you have enough faith in me to believe that I can figure out who the culprit is, but I honestly have no idea. Don't say that. You're Takisaki Yu-san. I know you can figure it out. There are an endless number of people that it could be. You've got to narrow this down, Yu-chan. Come on, think. Isn't there anything that could qualify as a lead to a true identity beyond what we've discussed so far? To be honest, when we talked about Kamino-san's true identity in the trial, something clicked with me. Almost as if I've seen someone with the physical features we talked about, but I'm not sure what. I think I can narrow down my thoughts to focus on just one thing. Maybe that'll help. I think I remember seeing someone with Kamino-san's traits somewhere. It has something to do with this. The cards? Is it the cards? Is it the gambling? Is it the gambling? Please stop with the gambling. Please stop with the gambling. Let's go out of trading cards. For some reason, I feel a connection between them, and the feature of Kamino-san's true identity that we discussed in court today. Well, he did go through. Yeah, but don't tell me I found Kamino-san's one. Don't tell me I found the girl one. It would be so funny. Well, he did go through quite a few of them. Do you think that one of these idols was actually Kamino-san? I think so. It feels faint, but good idea, Yu-san. You might be on the right track. Luckily, I'm a collector of these cards. I got a full set. You must figure out Kamino-san's true identity. Okay, sure, this should be fine. Mario. Oh, okay, go. Ooh, okay. No. I'm looking for orange hair. There's so much of them. Why are there so much of them? Okay, let's go about it. I'm looking for orange hair. I think that's the first thing I'm trying to figure out. And also maybe a hobby of cosplaying or something. Oh, that's such a good hobby. Oh, it's Ava. Trying to find one with orange hair. No, no, no. Looking for orange hair. I like reading some of them. I like some of their hobbies. No, this can go no, cannot go. No, these shoes are cool. Wow, there's like everyone here. Looking for one that's a hobby of like cosplaying or something. Reading thesis. There we go. Now that was easy. She's kind of pretty. She looks so pretty though. It's her. All this time. It really made it happen. It was all her. The true identity of chameleon sign is Asikura Kasane? Yeah. Are you sure? Are you sure? Think about it. First off, just look at her. She almost looks exactly like Chika-san. But her idol group is actually older than her causes. She always looked like this. Do you know what this means? It means she looks like Chika-san by coincidence, just like what we discussed with Maki. And her school. She's from Shinanomi Academy. The Red Vest. Entire undeniable. But there's more to it than just that. Her hobby. Do you see what it is? The cosplay? We did it, didn't we? After all our efforts, we caught our chameleon. We're gonna find her. Oh, cool. Okay. Okay, we've identified the chameleon, so that's cool. Okay, so that means we now know who she is. We can get her onto the stand. And the question is, I don't know. It kind of feels wrong to like dox someone's identity. So like, could they have done it with like, a way with like, we know your identity, but we're not gonna put your name on the records? I don't think they can. I think they have to dox her. This feels wrong though. That's alright. But anyway, that means the next episode is gonna be us wrapping up this case. Because we're gonna convenience and testify, we're gonna figure out what really happened, and then I'm gonna be happy camper. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.